There are so many brands out there. There are so many new brands coming out every day that it can seem overwhelming. If not to you, then definitely to me. So I wanted to take a look and see if I could only use 5 brands, which ones would I use? Hey all, it's Linda. Welcome back to my channel. This video idea was suggested by my friend Betty Jean here on YouTube. I feel like I've been saying that a lot lately, but we are constantly bouncing ideas back and forth. And this is one that I really loved because it really made me think, like, if I could only use 5 brands, which brands would I use, right? Now, I did not want to include skincare or like, you know, companies that only have brushes or things like that in here. So this is purely makeup based. And this was way harder for me than I thought it would be. But what I really wanted to look at in this is what brands have multiple products. So for example, if a brand, even if it's a brand I love, has only eyeshadow palettes and nothing else, I didn't really want to include that, even though they're like specialties at that. I just wanted to include brands that had multiple different kinds of products because that's going to like really bump up the number of products that I can use overall, right? So maybe I'm doing this selfishly, I don't know, but let's get into it. Let's talk about the 5 makeup brands I would use if I could only use 5, even though I hate it. I also have my mirror sitting here at all times for like a teeth check, and I've already had to wipe off my teeth twice, and I've been filming 1 minute and 54 seconds. Oh, also real quick, on my eyes, I do have the Unearthly Spring Magic Palette. I will link this down below if you're interested. But the very first brand that I would use is going to come as a shock to literally no one, and that is Melt Cosmetics. So what I kept thinking of was, yes, of course, like Melt has some of my favorite eyeshadow palettes, but it's not just about that. Melt also has one of my very favorite cream blush formulas. I absolutely love their matte lipsticks. I love their lip liners so much. They are right now my favorite lip liners in my collection are from Melt Cosmetics. They have highlighters, they have bronzers, they have so many different types of products that I just feel like they are a good all-around choice, even not just looking at the fact that like I absolutely love the color stories of their eyeshadow palettes. The only thing for me right now that would really shoot Melt into the stratosphere is if they came out with base products, and I feel like they have been teasing for years. Like I feel like at some point in their stories they talked about maybe concealer or foundation or tinted moisturizer or things like that. Like that I feel like would really bump them into the stratosphere. The only thing I worry about that with that personally is that I feel like they would probably go for a matte look rather than a highlighted or dewy look. So it would be something that I'd work with, but I'd absolutely try it. But nonetheless, all that to say, Melt Cosmetics is, I think, obvious for any of you who have been watching my channel, one that shoots to the very top because of how many different products they offer and how many times they are doing it right formula-wise. So even when I was writing my list, and you know, Melt was obviously the first name I put on there, I started thinking, okay, where are the gaps? If I had just Melt Cosmetics, where are some of the gaps? And a lot of that, like I just said, would be with base products. And I immediately was kind of surprised that the next answer came to me so easily, and it's Salt New York. This is a brand that has shot up in my list of top favorites of brands in general because they offer such fantastic base products. And it's not just foundation, it's not just concealer. They have bronzer, they have highlighter, they have blushes, they have glowy blushes, everything in between, and each product is done so well. I have not encountered a single dud of all the products I've tried. So I currently have 4 of their quads as well as a few singles, but let me just show you all the quads I have so we can talk about them. And I know I've been talking about Salt New York a lot lately, but that's because, again, like I could not include them in this video because they are a brand I go to all the time. So this is my foundation and concealer palette. The foundation's here, the concealer's here. You can see I've been using the hell out of them. And then next we have my bronzer palette. So this is bronzer and highlighter. We've got the bronzers. I don't know why I organized the other one like this way, and then this one is horizontal. Crazy. Okay, so we've got 2 bronzers on the top and 2 highlighters on the bottom in different shades. Next, we have my blush palette. These are all of these are cream products, so these do have a bit of luminosity to them, but these products right here are slightly less luminous than some of my favorite products lately, which are the Mood Lighting, which I have in light and medium. These are glowy. You can use them as blush toppers. I use these as straight up blushes, and they're beautiful. But all that to say, all of their products are such a standout that I would not be incredibly bummed if these were the only foundation foundation concealer products in my collection. And I do feel, I'm trying to think of which formula I like better, whether it is Melt or Salt New York with their cream blushes. And I think I prefer Melt a little bit more when it comes to just cream blushes in general. But then the mood lighting, those shimmery blushes, not shimmery, but glowing blushes, are my favorite with Salt New York. So it's hard to say, but nonetheless, the second brand in my if I could only use 5 brands list is definitely Salt New York. So I have to admit that number 1 and 2 on the list, and these are in no particular order, by the way, but number 1 and 2 were easy for me. Okay, they're the ones that instantly came to mind. The other 3, I really took a deep dive into my collection, and I was like, which brands am I constantly pulling things from? Not which brands do I have the most of, but which brands am I constantly pulling from? So my number 3 brand that I thought of was Milk Makeup. Between their cooling water jelly tints that you can use on your lips or on your cheeks, between their brow gel, which I've been loving, the mascara, which is one of my favorite mascaras of all time, the skin tint, which has quickly become one of my favorite skin tints of all time, I feel like Milk Makeup is a brand that sort of slid under the radar a little bit, and now they're really like coming into their own, and I'm loving them. The Hydro Grip Primer, for God's sake, like such good staple products. Now, I feel like if Milk was ever to randomly come out with an eyeshadow palette, I'd squint at it a little bit because I feel like they really go for the, I hate this phrase, but the clean girl aesthetic, right? They don't have a lot of like extreme colors or extreme products. They have products that are meant to be used every day with every single makeup look, I feel like. So that makes them versatile in my mind. And every product, again, that I've tried, once I figure out how to use it, I really enjoy. Now I say that because at first I got the Hydro Grip Primer and it was so sticky that I couldn't even put makeup over it. And then I realized I was using way too much. Once I realized I used a thinner layer, it has become one of my favorite primers. Sort of the same thing with the cooling water jelly tints. I was taking them, smearing them on one cheek and then the other, and then blending this out. And by the time I got to this cheek, oh my God, it was a hot mess. It was patchy, it was ugly. But when I did one cheek at a time, when I went a little bit more slowly, I realized that it's a product I absolutely love. With some of the products, there is a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get over that learning curve, you are going to realize that they are the staple products in your collection, and you will absolutely love them the way I did. So yeah, Milk Makeup was the third brand I thought of if I could only use 5. So the next brand that came to mind, okay, the reason this came to mind, I know I said at the beginning, like, I want you to not just have one type of product. This brand is constantly innovating right now. And with innovating, they are not just coming out with a bunch of neutrals. They are coming out with new products that are just like mind-blowing, okay? And I mean, it's sitting right next to me, but Unearthly Cosmetics, okay? All of their palettes are bright and bold and unique to my collection. Their color stories are so good, right? The quality is amazing every single time, like probably unparalleled to most things in my collection. The shimmers are all really blendable and sparkly and beautiful and shifty and wonderful. If they were just that, I would love them as a brand, but I'm not sure they'd be included on this list. But they have recently tried their hand at cream blushes. Their lip pencils are also some of my favorite in my collection. The Menacing Metals lipsticks, y'all. Oh my gosh, I love them and they are so unique to my collection. Let me get a few. So I currently have 5 of the Menacing Metals lipsticks, soon to be 10. Maybe I bought a few, okay? But I have to show you, like, let's go over this color, for example. This is Void, right? I've been seeing a lot of like metallic frosty lipsticks come out lately, but they are not like these. These are straight metallic. Like, look how metal that is. These are so beautiful. And one of my favorites, this was one of my unexpected favorites. It's called Fury, and it's like a purpley red, and it is so beautiful. It definitely has hints of brown in there, but these are so shiny and metallic, but they are also so creamy that they don't settle in your lip lines. So this is what I have. I do have some wrinkles or lines in my lips, and these don't settle. I'm sorry. I gotta swatch another one. Ancient. Let's swatch Ancient. Ancient is like a brown gold. I just want to swatch all of these because they are so gorgeous. Look at that. What other company has lipsticks like this? Okay, you know what? We're just going with it. Ember is a bronzed kind of orange gold with a hint of pink to it. Look how that catches the light. Do you see that? It is blinding. And then I'm just going to do the last one. This one is Bloodstone which is a, oh my God, it's so pretty. Look at that. It's an orange-based red. These also smell good, by the way, but it is an orange-based red. These are so creamy. But anyway, this is not like an ad for these lipsticks. It's all to say that I love that it's a brand that's continuing to be innovative and they're continuing to push themselves beyond their own boundaries. So they definitely made this list by far. I just really enjoy them as a whole. Should I take these off my hand or am I just going to leave them for the rest of the, you know, let's leave them because look at that. I can't believe it. We're already at brand number 5. This video is going to be super short. I do want to say that my 5th spot in this list did come down to 2 brands, okay? And the only reason one won out over the other is because they have more products overall. So let me tell you about my runner-up first. This is somebody who was not on the 5, but I do just feel like they deserve a mention, and it is Auric Cosmetics. I love Auric. I love them. I used the cheek palette today, and they just have these beautiful products. I used the Glow Lust under my foundation today, and it just brings a glow to the skin. I love their lip balm. It's wonderful. They also have these like single eyeshadow pots that are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But I want them to come out with a little bit more. And I don't know what that is. Maybe it is, you know, some colorful lip products. And by colorful, I mean, you know, possibly nudes because I think that's their vibe. But still, I would like to see some of that. Maybe a really good mascara or a brow product, anything like that. But because they have fewer products, as much as I love them as a brand, the brand I decided to put in their place instead is Sigma Beauty. Sigma is a brand, they have every makeup product you could want, and they somehow do it all right. So I don't know about you, but have you ever been to like a restaurant where, let's take Cheesecake Factory, okay? You open up the Cheesecake Factory menu and they have cheesecake and they have spaghetti and tacos and a bowl of Cheerios. I don't know, but they have so many different things that you're like, you can't be making these all like good. They can't all taste good because there's so many different types of cuisine here. I feel like that's the way it is with a lot of brands. It's like stick to what you know, but somehow Sigma does it all right. So they have eyeshadow palettes, which are so beautiful and pigmented and lovely. They have my favorite concealer of all time, which is the under eye correcting duo. What's it called? The Sigma Color Correcting Duo. It is my absolute favorite of all time. They make brushes, which are some of my favorite brushes of all time. They are such good quality. This brush, the angled concealer, like brilliant. The quality is so good and they are so soft and they are synthetic and they are just fantastic. They make mascara, they make brow gel, they make lip products. Like everything they make is somehow amazing. So you could literally just have Sigma and have a full makeup collection, okay? Now, the colors of the eyeshadow might not be as bright as some other brands, like as Unearthly or as Melt Cosmetics, but you would have eyeshadow, lipstick, lip liner, lip gloss, lip balm. You just have everything. And how they do it all so well is beyond me, okay? It is so beyond me, but it is such an underrated brand, I feel like. I feel like it's a brand that like you never see advertised anywhere, right? You just see people like me talking about them. But that's because I think it's something special about them is that they believe in, you know, peer-to-peer reviews, right? They believe in us talking to you and saying like, this is something you should check out. And I really enjoy that about them. You know what I mean? Because I don't know about you, but if there's an influencer I like watching, I feel like I trust their opinion more than I'm going to trust a paid ad in a magazine. But maybe that's just me. But anyway, all that to say, Sigma is kind of taking up that last spot if I could only have 5 brands. But all that to say, I want more than 5 brands, okay? I love that we are in a time where we can be picky and choosy because there are so many wonderful brands out there. Because, for example, Kosas is my favorite brand of tinted brow gel, okay? But I don't use that many other Kosas products, not because I don't like them, but because their brow gel is that standout thing for me. And I also love Kokie Cosmetics lip liners and some of their other products too, but their lip liners are fantastic. I love that we can pick from these different brands the products that we love, because when I was growing up, guys, there was like 5 makeup brands. You know what I mean? You got the Maybelline Great Lash in the pink and green container, and maybe you could sneak some of your mom's Clinique, but that was about it. So I love that we have these options. So this video was actually very hard for me to do, but nonetheless, those are my 5 brands. Now stop for a second. I want you to comment down below and tell me what 5 brands you would choose if you could only use 5 brands. And you can base that on whatever you want. They can just be your 5 favorite brands. They can be the brands that have the most products, which is sort of what I based mine off of. They can be the brand that has your one hero product that you could never live without. Whatever it is, tell me in the comments down below. I am very curious to hear your opinions on this. But that's it. If you liked this video, I'm going to put another one right here on the screen for you that I think you also might really like. But if you did like this video, I would love if you'd also take a second before you go and give this a thumbs up. That helps out my channel so much. You all can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Those are all Glitter Fallout. And as always and forever, you guys are super freaking rock stars. I love you so much with my whole heart. And I will see you in the next video. Bye. I've had caffeine. Yay.